Welcome to Blue Koala Office Solutions. We are here to help you grow with competitive rates and reliable sources, allowing you to expand and develop in an efficient way. Why do you need a virtual office address? Perhaps you're working from home, but you don't want to use your home address. You may be an expanding business and are looking to attract businesses in Newport and or Cardiff. Are you looking for an address you can register with Google and SEO? We offer flexible short-term agreements, super high-speed fibre, 24-hour access and security, meeting room for up to 6 people. We are located in Whitchurch, Cardiff, with easy access from M4 and A470, and as well as the meeting room, we also have a podcast studio and a film studio that you can rent on an hourly basis. We have created a cozy hidden gem where businesses can come together to brainstorm, as well as having a professional environment. So if you would like to find out more, get in touch. info@bluekoalaofficesolutions.com.
Hello and welcome to the Senior Bounds platform. This is the homepage, and what you have here is obviously you have, as any other website, you have your different tabs along the top. If you want to search for people, you can do. If you want to search friends, you can obviously click down to the friends tab. Same with companies. If you want to find a specific company, you can click so here, or if you want to see what offers are unavailable, you can go to the offers tab. Same with groups. If you want to find a group or even join a group, you can do so here with the groups tab. Interesting stuff. This is where we add our blogs, and our podcasts, and then our events board. This is where people have listed a whole range of events, and that can all be found here. And then obviously you can also access your events cards and your events checkout. And the benefits, these are the big sponsored benefits that we have on Senior Bounds that you as a paid member can make the most of. Over here where you see the location, you can click this and change the location of which you are searching for by there to make things nice and easy. There's a few little shortcuts that you have on the homepage. You can search for companies by clicking this button by here. You can connect with people by clicking this button by here, or you can go directly to managing your profile by clicking the big green button by here. As you scroll down here, you can see new members in your area, and you can search for members in your area. And as you go down, you can also find different types of events that's happening around you as well. And as you collect them, you can also list your favorite listings, and they will also show up at the bottom. And again, as I said, all the upcoming events that's happening near you within the next couple of days is all displayed here. Any problems? All you need to do is drop me a line at jamie@seniorbounds.co.uk.
Hello, welcome to Really Special Live at 5.
We are live, and we're live in our brand new set, which is based right here at Blackline Studios. We are super excited about the new show content, the new stuff coming out. But we'll find out more about that later on. Today is a really special show, and it's a show that we want you guys to put your questions forward. We've got an expert in the room. The subject is our rising energy costs and the rising issues that we've got with that. We've brought someone in as a guest who can talk to us all about that and answer some questions. So yeah, it's a really exciting show.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this because I have literally just sorted it out for us. We're looking to sort it out for the
the office, and I'm sure that lots of people are going to have questions. So if you're watching this on replay, obviously put #replay. We want you to get involved, ask any questions, and I'm sure our expert, who you're going to introduce now, will have lots of answers for us all of how we can control the situation and possibly save some money as well.
Well, yeah, definitely. But not only you can save some money, you can also earn some money. So the gentleman that we're going to bring out is an adorable guy, and I've literally got on with him from the moment I met him. He's a true gentleman. He's a utility specialist. He's a partner with Utility Warehouse, and at the moment, Utility Warehouse are definitely one of the big players when it comes into the competitive market with our utilities. So, without any further ado, let's welcome the lovely Glyn Miller. There he is. Glyn, welcome into the room, mate. Welcome.
Hello, Charlotte. Hello, Jamie. How are you both?
Oh, it's lovely to see you. I've been really looking forward to the show. I'm looking forward to what you've got to say to us as well, because I know there's lots of stuff happening out there and people are really worried about what's happening. So, yeah.
But not only are they worrying, Glyn, they're really struggling as well. And I think that's something that, we need to sort of identify, right? And, we need to understand that. I mean, let's go straight into it. Right? Let's literally fall straight into the first question. The price of national gas has risen in the UK by 445%. And I mean, that is incredible. And that is literally just since the start of the year. It's increasing as well. It's actually getting worse as well. So what are your views on that, Glyn? Well, what's happening? Why is this happening?
Well, part of the problem is that the war in Ukraine with Russia is actually, unfortunately, dictating the prices, because everybody is trying to come out of the contracts with Russia to buy their natural gas. So you're being held to ransom by all the other suppliers, you see.
Yeah, and it's crazy, really. I mean, the fact that is happening, the fact that can happen, and when all this happened, so many people said to us, or spoke to me when I was talking about the war in Ukraine, and I was one of those people that just went, this is going to be chaos. Like, this is going to cause catastrophic issues and problems. So, how can UW help? What can they do to work with us? What is happening on the market? How's UW, standing there with and evaluating that? So, what is the best thing for us to do?
Well, all right. The experts say that stay where you are and don't switch. Well, there are savings to be made when you join UW. We will always be 5% below the price cap, whatever it is, whether it's 3,340 as it's supposed to be in October, but I think it could be very nearly 3,800 by October, and there's an article in the Times today that states this could go on until 2024. So it's not finished yet.
So I'm just going to come back to the comments. So Adrian has just come up and he said that I have utilities capped until April 2023 with UW. What's not to like? And it's absolutely right. But there was, if I remember correctly, and you may be able to help me, was there not a statement that was put out earlier on in the week or earlier on today with the UW cap is ending very, very soon, within the next, imminently?
As long as you sign up with UW before 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, you can be capped.
And that's the fixed rate, right?
Fixed rate. And I swapped Saturday morning on a good deal that will save me approximately £1,000 in the coming year. So that means that I'm fixed now right up to the 31st of July next year.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've done as well, Glyn, and I'm really glad that we've done it. So for those people that are wondering, how can UW do a fixed rate when no other companies out there are offering it at the moment? So obviously, if you sign up today, you can still get that fixed rate. So why can they do that, and how does that work?
Well, it works because, first of all, we have a contract that runs right up to 2035. That means we will always be buying our energy below the price cap, but plus also being a multi-service supplier, we can actually control those prices, though we can't control the gas price. The other services that we supply that we can control the price, we know the margins that can be made on those. That helps offset the problems with all the gas pricing, because we can balance it out at the end of the day and we can still make a profit. And if you monitor the FTSE index, our shares are hitting record prices nearly every day because
That's incredible.
Because we're doing it.
So I have a question that I've actually had asked me before we went live, and that is, so when they're fixing the price, are they actually fixing? This might be a bit of a silly question, but I'm sure if somebody's asked it, lots of people are going to wonder. So when they fix the price, do they fix it at the rate that we are obviously looking for the increase to be? And therefore, some people are saying that they don't want to fix their rate because they're thinking that it's going to be higher. And what happens if it doesn't go as high as expected?
Well, when I fixed mine on that Saturday, I'm now paying roughly 40% more than the current variable rate. But then when the October price increase comes in, that could be anything between 70 and 80% increase on the current variable rate. So, by paying the smaller percentage now, it is actually keeping me on a fixed rate right up to the 31st of July.
So you do pay it then on the advanced rate going forward, right? You do pay it on what it's predicted to be.
Yeah, well, yes, we are paying now 40% more than the variable rate at the moment.
Yeah.
But the October increase could put that variable rate up 80%. So by paying the 40%, you're actually balancing it out, you see, and giving you the fixed price.
Yeah, so I want to come into it. Okay, so we've talked in quite detail now about what is happening and why it's happening, and I think a lot of people knew that, a lot of people understand that. People are struggling. It's a difficult time, right? I don't know what the future holds. I'll be honest with you. But whilst we're on the subject of UW, why don't you tell us a few of the other services that UW have that we can help with? For example, mobile, broadband, insurances. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about some of them services, mate?
Well, we supply landline at the moment until 2025, when it's all going to be digital. We can supply broadband, we can supply mobile, and we also supply handsets as well. And we can supply insurance, including boiler cover insurance that guarantees you one service of your boiler every year without having to scratch around and find somebody to do it at the last minute. It can be pre-booked.
There's so many services that are available, and we didn't know until recently about the great service of mobile phones that are offered with UW. And in fact, we're paying £10 less per month for the new contract that we have with UW, which is incredible. So there are savings still to be made. And I know the other things I'm sort of coming out with questions that I have been asked is that what do you do if you're stuck in a contract and you don't kind of want to put all your baskets in one place, eggs in one basket, I should say, baskets in one place. What do you do if you're stuck in a contract, Glyn? How do you deal with that?
Well, that is quite easy because one of the things that we do is if you're stuck in a fixed contract that we can save you money on, we will pay up to £200 to get you out of that contract. And that is something that we offer everybody who wants to join UW. All right, there are terms and conditions with it, but that is what we do. Plus also, if you join us and we fit smart meters to your property, that gives you straight away a £50 credit on your energy bill. And also, if you have the cashback card and you the first top up of that, we will give you an extra £50 credit there as well. So really, you could get £300 out of Utility Warehouse to actually join us.
And I remember this. Do you remember when we first joined? We joined years ago. And when we first joined, we didn't actually have a bill for the first couple of months because we were also introducing other people, which is something else I want to come on to now. So if you introduce people to the scheme, you can also have some cashback, can't you?
Yes, because there is two ways of getting involved with UW. If you just want to be a customer and you want to refer a friend or a member of your family or someone like that to UW, and you want them to join, and they do join, that gives you a £50 credit straight away if they're a householder. You see, so that's how that works.
Brilliant.
So I think if you're a family watching this, you're obviously going to have your neighbours in the same situation. Get together, and you basically will be saving your bill for probably 3 months if you invite the whole neighbourhood. And you've got your savings sorted for the year.
Yes.
Well, so sorry, mate. Yeah, carry on.
If you get a group of you together and keep referring each other, you can work through the chain and get a £50 credit for every one of you.
Oh, see, that's a tactic right there, mate. That's a tactic right there. So look, Glyn, I mean, there's some really good advice in this, and a real good couple of golden nuggets for people who are watching and tuning in. If anybody wants to ask Glyn a question, all you need to do, and you're listening on playback, just type in the question, #replay. We'll pick it up. We'll make sure Glyn gets the questions come through. Glyn, if anyone wants to get in touch with you directly, how would they do that? I mean, obviously they can contact you through the Bounds directory, but how else can they get in touch with you, mate?
Well, if you go on to Glyn at paylesswithglyn.co.uk and email the question to me, or if you want to, you can go on to https://uw.partners/Glyn.Miller.
Fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in and listening. It's been brilliant. Adrian, thank you so much for your comments. I haven't been able to mention all, but they have popped up on the screen. Glyn, thank you for your wisdom, mate. It's been absolutely brilliant having you on the show and those little golden nuggets. So from all of us and Luke in the studio here, we say a massive goodbye. Thank you very much. Take care until next time.
Care,
Goodbye.
Bye.
Hello and welcome to a fabulous Live at 5 with Cinebounce Live. I am absolutely delighted to be here today with a really amazing woman who's going to talk about her real life story through breast cancer, and also a fabulous workshop coming on for those of us who might have been in touch with people who've had breast cancer, have had breast cancer themselves, and sadly nowadays I think most of us have had that word in some context, and I'm sure we can be able to help to spread the word about what we can do and what help is out there. So let me welcome the beautiful and gorgeous Natty Ashira. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Charlotte. What a lovely welcome. Thank you so much.
It's really, really lovely to be here with you, and I know that you've got an incredible workshop coming out very soon, which we're going to talk about. But first of all, for those who haven't met you yet, tell us a little bit of who Natty is and what you do, please.
So, yeah, sure. So my name is Natty Ashira, and I work with women who are on a breast cancer journey. I specialise in supporting them through the challenges that journey brings, of which there's quite a lot. So they're likely to be experiencing a range of emotional states, which could include fear, stress, anxiety, overwhelm, as you can imagine. And what I mainly do is I guide, hold and support them, and I help to normalise their experience and to help them to release and let go of emotions and thoughts that don't actually support their healing. And I help them to be therefore less stressed, more in control of their journey, to make better decisions around their health, and to have a clear direction on coping with and healing their breast cancer.
What an amazing introduction. And I know that your journey is very special. So tell us a little bit in a nutshell how you kind of came about being able to help others after your own real life experience.
Right. So, I mean, I have a background as a coach, and I trained in various sort of personal development disciplines and things like that. But I didn't start looking at working with the breast cancer journey until the last couple of years. So I myself, I've been on a breast cancer journey for about just over 9 years. I can't believe it's been that long, but I was first diagnosed in 2013. And very much for me, I wanted, when I got that diagnosis, I really wanted to approach it naturally. That was just something that felt right for me. I don't advocate doing it one way or another. And so I embarked on looking at diet and lifestyle changes and all of these amazing sort of natural alternative protocols that exist out there. And I started to implement a lot of them. And they were an amazing support for my body. They really were. And I watched my general health improve dramatically. But what I found was it didn't actually seem to deal with the cancer itself. And what I now know, looking back, is that I didn't actually fully deal with the fear and the stress that I was experiencing. I kind of got completely distracted and fixated by what I could put into my body, what I could take out of my body through diet and detoxing and juicing and all of these protocols. But without addressing the fear and the stress, those things, although they supported my body, couldn't actually do what I wanted them to do, which was to heal the cancer. And then you know, 7 years later, fast forwarding quite a bit, I ended up with a diagnosis of metastatic breast cancer, which had gone to my bones. That was in 2020. And that diagnosis brought me full face-to-face with this deep fear of death that I didn't even really know that I had. But I recognized at that point that that was my chance to deal with it once and for all. So I found various ways to really help me with that, because I'd experienced a lot of trauma in my childhood, which meant that things like fear and stress actually were things that I found very difficult to deal with. But I found some work that really, really helped me. And actually very quickly, what I found was I could completely transmute the fear. I could dissolve it. And what I was left with was this profound sense of peace and freedom that I didn't even know was possible. And then what I realized was that shifted my nervous system out of a state of stress. And when your nervous system is in a state of stress, your body simply can't heal. It's not in healing mode. So with that shift, then my body had a chance to be able to start healing. Then also in the last couple of years, I've come across an incredible body of scientific work that clearly shows and proves that it's our emotional experience that triggers illness and triggers breast cancer. And what I realized was that if you don't deal with that root cause trigger and resolve it, then it doesn't really matter what you do. You can do all of the best stuff in the world, but your body just isn't in healing mode. So your body isn't going to be able to heal. And, you know, if you've had treatment and you've got the all clear, then similarly, you know, if your body is still running that fear, then it's possible that a recurrence can happen. So that's really important to deal with. And I'm still sort of in the midst of unpicking these elements for myself right now. But I know that I'm onto the right thing for me. And the other thing I think to realize around this that I've discovered through my own journey is the breast cancer journey itself can actually be a source of those emotional triggers, which is why I think it's so important that the work that I do with women around this, because quite often it's sort of a blind spot that these emotional experiences that we have can actually be a source of the disease itself and its progression.
Gosh, it's a lot to take in, Natia. I'm absolutely kind of sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, it's really interesting what you're saying in terms of the stress level, the fear, and everything else that goes into it, because we hear this a lot, and you know, we all deal with things very differently. And I think sometimes you deal with it, like you were saying, you kind of automatically went into like, I need to get fit, I need to know what I'm doing with my body. I had a friend who was only 26 when she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she was the fittest she's ever been. She was running half a marathon a day, and that was her way of dealing with it. But she didn't deal with the other stuff that you said. And I think we're all very different, aren't we? So you sometimes go into that fight or flight mood. So you just kind of go, I'm going to do this. And then you know, the disease, like you're talking about, is still going to be there. And the chances of then reoccurrence and all of those kind of things are really, really high. Yeah. And I think with anything like that, it's important that you deal with the root cause. But sometimes I think when you get the diagnosis, there's so much to take in, isn't it, that you don't really know where to start. No. So for those of you, you know, for people who are listening in now and have gone through the journey, know somebody that perhaps had just had diagnosis, what would you say to them in terms of how to help them and work with them so their journey can be a lot easier?
So I think when you first get a diagnosis, it's a shock. And I think the most important thing is to really not make decisions from that place of shock and that place of fear and stress. So the first thing is to find a way to deal with that fear and that stress, and learn ways to really calm your system and shift that state. And then when you shift that state and you can be more relaxed, it doesn't mean necessarily that you're not experiencing some fear or some worry, but that your nervous system is calm and can actually hold it. And from that place, it's much, much easier to think things through, to make decisions, because we're not actually in the energy of the fear and then making decisions from that fear, which can be a very sort of panicky place to make decisions from. And we don't make the best decisions from that place. And one of the things I
was going to say, in the beginning as well, when you've had that shock, once you've overcome that shock, and then you have to tell family and friends, I know that often you become strong for them, so your own kind of, fear and everything else gets shut down, especially if you have children or, people that are close to you, that you have to kind of keep the appearance up, if you like. And your feelings, sometimes it's easier to shut them away when something happens, as a disease of any kind. And that's really kind of things that you could really help with as the whole journey, including family members, how to tell people, and tell us a little bit about that experience
of just how to tell people. Yeah. So I think different people deal with it differently, and it certainly, I suppose, depends very much on the relationships, the close relationships that you do have and what those are like. I think there is a tendency for there's something called, recognized as a cancer personality, where people who get cancer have certain sort of personality traits that are common. And one of those is quite often taking on too much responsibility and feeling like a burden, and not wanting to burden other people. So I hear what you're speaking to about them feeling like they need to be strong for others. But actually, it's when we can really open into the truth of our own vulnerability and share authentically from the heart what's going on for us, in a way where we're able to really hold our own selves in that, which means that we're not just spilling out our sort of emotional state on others for them to mop up. There's no reason why we can't share the truth of our experience, because when we share from that place, then others have the freedom to be able to support us in the way that they want to, whilst having their own emotional reaction and experience as well. And I think it's the connection that's on offer through that shared emotional experience that is the most valuable thing. That this isn't something that we go through alone, and it isn't something we need to be strong for other people. It's actually an opportunity for deep connection, for us to be able to receive the support that we need, for others to be able to really offer that to us, because it's a lovely thing to be able to offer support to somebody when they need it. And to experience a deeper connection through that experience. I think that can be extremely enriching, as well as frightening and difficult and all of that. But to go through it separately in our own little bubbles, that isn't helpful. So there's something that's really on offer about a deeper connection for everybody concerned.
And that is why everything that you just said now is absolutely why I love what you do, because I think that is so, so important to understand that it's okay to share this. You're not going through it alone, and there is a lot of support if you just open up. And having that honesty and making the connections where you can get support, I think is the first step to a really, a good sort of, if you can say that, a journey that doesn't have to be lonesome and horrid and frightening. Because if you more you talk about it with other people and they've gone through similar things, or just opening up to your families, or friends that you're going through it with, you're going to have those connections and you get the support, and that will help you through the journey. So
Yeah.
I know, Natty, that you'll talk very strongly about mindfulness, which is what we've been touching on a little bit now, and how that works in nature as well. So take us through a little bit of what you can do around those subjects.
So, yeah, part of the work I do is a body of work that I refer to as nature mindfulness. And so people might have heard of mindfulness, or even have practiced mindfulness themselves. And I just basically say that mindfulness, in essence, is paying attention to our experience. And so nature mindfulness is paying attention to our experience while we're immersed in nature. And the way that we do that is very much through the mindful awareness of our senses. So coming very much into our bodily felt experience of our connection with nature. So this work actually has its roots in an area called biophilia. So there was a guy called Edward O. Wilson who wrote a book called Biophilia, which he refers to as our biophilia being our love of life, or our love of living things, which I think is just a nice, really lovely way to describe it. And he argues that biophilia is actually what makes us human, and it connects us to all other living things. My understanding of that is really it places us back into our rightful place in nature as beings of nature. In the Western world, we kind of seem to forget that we are actually part of nature. And what I also love about this is that Derby University actually have been doing quite a lot of research into our connection with nature and its effects on our health and well-being. And what they've discovered is that it's not just simply being in nature that provides the benefits, even though being in nature does provide benefits, but it's actually, in order to reap the benefits fully for our health and well-being, we need to develop what they call nature connectedness. Now, a nature connectedness is what we develop when we use the tools of nature mindfulness to really, come into our full experience of what it's like to be in nature and connected to nature through our body, through our senses. So that's very much the work that I teach in the workshop that I have coming up. And I bring a slightly different or nuanced element to that work, in that this is very much geared towards women on a breast cancer journey themselves. So I bring the experience of my own breast cancer journey and my experience of the nature mindfulness work and how it's benefited me, and weaving those two things together so that women really can learn the tools to have this incredible self-support on their breast cancer journey to help them deal with stress and all the other challenges that they have to go through.
That's absolutely amazing. I wanted to talk because I think the workshop, so it seems like it's involving so many different elements of what you can use. So, sorry, when it comes to the journey that people are going through, so if they're in the early stages of diagnosis, or I know there's some people watching who've gone through breast cancer, but it's a journey still. Can anyone come on to the workshop? Would it be beneficial for anyone in that space?
So the workshop is very much geared to women on a breast cancer journey. And what I mean by that, which you just alluded to really, is is any woman who's been touched by breast cancer herself. So she may have just had a diagnosis. She might be going through treatment. She might have come out the other side of treatment. Maybe she has the all clear, or maybe she's just going through her journey using natural approaches or a combination. So it could be even that she's got the all clear and left it behind her, but is still perhaps worrying about it, or it's in the back of her mind. Maybe it could come back. So this workshop really provides tools for women at all stages of that journey. And I think that once you've had breast cancer, I'm not sure the journey ever ends.
No.
Really, it's kind of, you may get to a stage where maybe you don't think about it so much once you've got the all clear and it's not sort of coming into your day to day, but I don't think it ever completely goes away.
No, I think you're totally right. I think it's absolutely something that is there at the back of your mind. I mean, everyone that I've spoken to who's had breast cancer, they've all had a very different journey, which one of the ladies mentioned who's watching. She said, what a great idea, you know, because everyone has a very different journey. And I remember our neighbour, she was in a group of 7 women that were going through breast cancer, and every single one had a different approach. So it's a completely individual journey, and you have to do what right's for you. But it also then helps to be able to get support, and which is exactly what you do in the workshop around. So you almost come away from the workshop, if I get it right, with like almost like a toolbox that you can get support from whenever you need it. Is that right?
Yeah. So this workshop that I'm running, this one in particular is more of an introduction to the work. So I'm running it online, which seems a bit bizarre for a nature workshop, but it's run online. It's run for a morning, and you're encouraged at various points to go out and do some experiential exercises out in your own sort of outdoor space, so that you can experience that work for yourself, and then we come back in and we sort of contemplate and share on the experience. So you will leave the workshop with 2 or 3 really powerful tools that can really help with stress and difficult emotions and things like that. And also you're working there with a group of women with a shared experience, like you said, all having their own approach and perceptions of what's going on. And I think there is something really valuable in being able to share your experience with others and to connect with others who are on a similar journey. And actually, I believe there has actually been research that shows that when you do have that connection and support with others on that journey, that actually you have better outcomes. So yeah, really, really valuable.
And it's really interesting as well, because I think sometimes people who are in the beginning and then hearing other stories there at the end and what happens in between, if you can share that in an open environment, you get much clearer understanding, and that fear and the, you know, everything, anxiety that comes with a first diagnosis or that's in the back of your mind can be helped so much through having that kind of toolbox and support throughout whatever it is and wherever you are. So tell us about, so the workshop can be found on senobounds.co.uk, and tell us the date and the time.
So it's going to be on the 16th of August. It's in the morning, running from 10 until 1. I mean, I'm going to invite people to just come a little bit earlier to get settled so we can start at 10 o'clock. We're going to have a little comfort break partway through. But yeah, in essence, it's you're going to learn some powerful tools to really help with stress. You're going to have a chance to connect with others and share your experience. And you're going to leave with those powerful tools that really help you feel like you have more control over the situation where you actually often experience like you're out of control. There's something, you know, going on in your body that you feel you're out of control with, which can be a really destabilizing experience. And then following this sort of more introductory workshop, there is going to be a series of day retreats where you have the opportunity to go much, much deeper with different themes in the work in an actual nature setting, and they will be whole day retreats, which will run over the course of the year. So this is a really good way to just get a flavour for the work, see, experience the benefits, see how it sits with you, and you're going to get value just from this event. A couple of really powerful tools to help you, but also you're going to get to see if that's something you want to take forward and deepen.
That's absolutely incredible. And I think there's so much value even just to come along to this first one and just see the help and support that you can get when you do share with people, because I know a lot of people have been going through this on their own or don't have any people that they feel like they can talk to. And also, like you said, your body, you feel like you're not in control of your own body anymore.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Natalie. Thank you so much for sharing some of your experience as well. And thank you for putting on a workshop that I think is absolutely amazing. And then we need to start talking about this more. So I really, really would like to thank you so much for coming on. And I hope that it will be really successful. So for everyone watching, if you want to have some more information, just put #replay and any questions that you have. And I know that Natty or myself will be more than happy to help you. And for now, we wish you a lovely afternoon. Thank you so much, Natty. Take care.
Thank you, Charlotte. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye.